We've spoken many times about our sort of disagreements with both the traditional left and right wing American views on the Israeli Palestinian conflict. We've talked about our opposition to Benjamin Netanyahu as prime minister of Israel and his religious right wing coalition, which at this point has only the slimmest of majorities in the Knesset. But we've also talked about the double standard that exists out there with regard to critical reporting of Israel, claims of Israel as a sort of particularly bad actor, a country that maybe should not even exist, etc., etc. We've been pretty clear, Lewis, over the many years about our nuanced position on this issue, haven't we?
We have been. People still, critique us. I won't get into it, but yes, we have.
And that's fine. Of course, we love the critiques. And we've also discussed many times that both Israel and Egypt share the same security concerns with regard to the Palestinian tunnels into Egypt and into Israel that we've talked about. And we've also talked about the sort of limiting of materials going through the borders, through either Israel or Egypt, into Palestinian territories. Serious fears about weapons and rockets being brought in, etc. And as it happens, the Egyptian army recently said that it destroyed the openings of more than 500 such underground tunnels during a 6-month military operation on its eastern border with the Gaza Strip. Egypt's armed forces were involved in what even they're describing as a large-scale military crackdown in the eastern province of North Sinai, where there was a huge militant attack that killed more than 30 soldiers. And since then, large areas of the province have been under emergency military rule. Schools have been closed. A strict curfew has been in place. Authorities have established a sort of buffer zone between Egypt and the Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip. Families have been forcibly evacuated from their homes on the border, etc., etc. Why is it, Lewis, that when it's Egypt, not only does nobody question the details, like, for example, Egypt saying that the tunnels have been concealed in family homes, there's just no uproar whatsoever. In fact, if you look at the comments to the article that we're linking to for this story on MiddleEastEye.net, you'll see a long string of comments from people blasting Israel for doing this. And it's the story is not even about Israel. It's about Egypt. Nothing on anti-Israeli website Mondoweiss. Nothing on anti-Israeli website Electronic Intifada about this. The double standard could not be more glaring in this particular case.
Yeah, well, I think it's there's a hatred of Israel, and in some cases, there's a hatred of Jews that you really can't do anything about. Some people might say that the tunnels, elsewhere. I don't know if there's misinformation. If people are saying, "Oh, these tunnels are for food," or these tunnels are for to help are for being used for good purposes.
And we
I
know
really
that
don't
we
know.
know the long history of the tunnels being misused at this point. I mean, if people want to debate that fact, then have at it, Haas, right? But this is more about the double standard with regard to when Israel does the same thing, it's an explosion of anti-Israeli reporting. And when we very calmly and rationally say, Egypt has the same concerns, Egypt does a lot of the same things, this is not even reported by some of the agencies claiming they just care about the Palestinians. It's not about being anti-Israeli.
I think a lot of people don't really care about, the focus is what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. There seems to be almost no focus on what's happening at other borders.